Dear friends, from the time immemorial, God has chosen many good people to bring hope to this hopeless generation. Saints Simon and Jude were found favorable in the eyes of God, and by laying down their lives, these two great saints brought hope to many. They were chosen not because they are perfect, for they had their own weaknesses, yet God's grace worked through them. Saint Simon is mentioned nowhere in the Bible except in the list of the 12 apostles as one among the zealots. Zealots are the movement which wanted to see the reign of God here upon the earth by overthrowing the powers of the Romans. Therefore, the Romans addressed this group as the cutthroats. They were like freedom fighters, very zealous in all that they did. And being part of this group, which seeks political solution, Simon comes to Jesus, who offers him spiritual solution, which is very important. Some ancient scholars come up with the idea that he might be the bridegroom in the marriage function at Cana, and that when he witnessed Jesus' miracles, he followed Jesus. But there is no proper evidence to this. Simon is thought to have preached in Egypt, and then he joined Jude in Persia, where he received the crown of martyrdom by being cut into half with a saw. Therefore, he is often depicted as the man holding a saw. Even we don't have much information about Saint Jude in the Bible except in the list of the 12, and that Jude asked our Lord after the Last Supper why he chose to reveal himself only to the disciples, for which Jesus answers with a beautiful sentence as, "If anyone loves me, he will keep my word, and my Father will love him, and we will come to him and make our home with him." John chapter 14, verses 22 to 23. And that he is the brother of James, the relative of Jesus. And he is the author of the Epistle of Jude, where he warns the faithful against corrupt influences that have crept in. Ancient writers tell us that after the resurrection of the Lord, he preached the gospel in Judea, Samaria, Idumea, Syria, Mesopotamia, and Libya. Judas is popularly known as the patron of hopeless causes, the saint of last resort, meaning that when all else fails, he is the one we must turn to in prayer. He is invoked in desperate situations because his epistle stresses that the people should persevere in the environment of harsh, difficult circumstances. He is the patron of the forsaken, the orphans, and the elders. There is a famous incident given by some apocryphal writings about Saint Jude. When Jesus carried out his public ministry, there was a king named Abagar in the region of Edessa near Mesopotamia. He was severely affected with leprosy, which was considered a deadly disease at that time. Therefore, he wrote letters to Jesus, inviting him to come and heal him. But due to his practical reasons, Jesus could not reach there. But meanwhile, the king developed a strong faith in Jesus and sent his artist, commanding him to go where Jesus was and to draw his face on a cloth, since he believed that even by looking at that face on the cloth, he will be made well. So the artist went there and tried to draw Jesus' face, but eventually he failed in his attempt due to the bright, glorious light that shone on the face of Jesus. It seemed that when Jude saw this, he went forward to help this man by imprinting Jesus' face on the cloth. The artist took it to the king, And when the king saw this face of Jesus, he was healed of his leprosy instantly. Both these apostles were known for their complete zeal and dedication to the Lord in the spreading of his teachings. The lives of these two great saints teaches us that, like the apostles, we too are blessed with various gifts with which we must do all things possible to be ever ready to render our help to the poor, the lowly, and those who are depressed in their lives. Saint Jude is known as the hope to the hopeless. This clearly means that he had worked among the people who lost all their hope in life and helped to change their life situations. Therefore, as the disciples of Christ, we too are called to be like Saint Jude, helping these sections of the society. In the Gospel, we hear Jesus say, "Truly I say to you, as you did it to one of the least of these my brothers, you did it to me." Matthew chapter 25, verse 40. Therefore, we must remember that when we do some good to someone, we are actually doing it for God. In 2010, the CNN group awarded Mr. Narayana Krishnan as the greatest man in the world because from 2002 onwards, he fed nearly 1.20 crore people thrice daily on the streets. This all began in 2002. When he was about to leave for Switzerland for a job, he was moved by the sight of the miserable, hungry people. From then onwards, he dedicated his whole life in serving these people, giving hope to them and thus becoming the great man in the world. The lives of Saints Simon and Jude and this man Narayana Krishnan challenges us today to lay down our lives at the service of the neglected, the orphans, and the destitute of our society. In this way, let us find God in the face of the oppressed of the society and thus become the hope to the hopeless.